Hi, this is the second video of Surfing Safely. This video is going to show you how to get going with the production of your poster using Inkscape. First thing you've got to do is make sure it's installed on your computer at home, and you can download it from the inkscape.org website. As you can see, go to the downloads page, go to the current version and download and install it. That's very straightforward. Get a parent to help you if you get stuck. Once you've got it loaded, you might need to recap some of your skills. There are lots and lots of tutorials out there which should be able to help you, and hopefully you'll find extra features that you've never used and you'll enjoy exploring them. I have put on the web page a link to all of these tutorials here. They're TJ free and loads of tutorials, so if you get stuck, can't remember how to do anything, come here, have a look through. You'll probably find something that will help you get the feature that you want to include in your poster. Remember, this is just an introductory unit, so don't spend too long on it. Use the basic features I demonstrate today, and then just maybe find 2 or 3 extra features to see if you can show off. When you've got Inkscape loaded, first thing you always need to do is go to set up the document properties and check it's the right size. Nothing worse than finishing a project to realise you made it too small or too big. So you could go for A4, or if you want to produce a bigger poster, go for A3, that's double the size. Once you've got that set, the next thing you need to do is save your poster. File, save as. Now this will save a version that you can edit as you go along. I'm going to create it in my OneDrive computing, and Safe Surfing folder is here, and then call it something sensible. Now remember, when we hand in our work, if you just put your surname first, so mine would be right, my first name is obviously Josh, and this is Safe Surfing poster, and I put a V1 after mine, and as I go through I save a V2, V3, and then I've got lots of versions. Notice it will save it as an SVG file, and that's a scalable vector graphic file. So next thing to always think about, hopefully you remember from my OP, is your layers. Now when we design posters, we've got to think about what's going to go in the background first. So I'm going to do background layer, and I literally want to have a nice shape here. I'm going to drag out the background. I'm going to edit the nodes, and I want the corners to be curved, so I'm just going to click on that box, curve the corners a little bit, and then you can make it fit the page. And don't forget, the tidier you make this, the higher the mark you will get. So that's my background layer. So I'm going to lock that layer now, and I'm going to add another layer, and I'm going to call this my frames. Now you can have lots of different layer names, and you can come up with all the different names you want. And I'm going to click add, and here's where I want my basic structure now. So I'm going to add a shape, and I'm going to have one topic here, I think. Now, because it's the same color as the last one, that's not showing up at all. So I'm just going to go here and change the color. I'd like this one to be red, so I'm just going to change it to the red section, change the hue to make it nice and bright, and now I can edit that box the way I want. So I'm going to move it in the middle. I'm going to edit the points so I get the nice corners showing nicely, and there's one frame, and I can come and add the text to that. And now I'm going to build up my information frame. I'm going to have another frame underneath. I want this to have a nice white background. I want it to be connected with that one, but just behind it. So I'm going to make this white, and that's where I'm going to put my text in here for the first bit of information. Over here, these two are important. This one is just this main selection, that single arrow, and that allows you to just to select the box. And if you click the one below it, it allows you to edit the nodes, and that's where you're picking up these features. Now that's looking good. I want an outline of that one, so I'm going to go to stroke paint, and I'd like that to be quite a nice solid black, and I want the stroke style to be quite thick so it really stands out. Remember, it's for children, so I'm going to make this a little bit thicker. So I've now got my main box here. I need the stroke paint on there. but I want that one to be slightly in front of this one. So I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to move, sorry, I'm going to go up here, object, and I want this one to raise. So, oops, pick the wrong one. Let's click the right object. And this always takes time with IT. Go up to the object menu, and this time I'm going to raise it in front of the other box. There we go. So now I've got my first frame, and I'm going to click with that one, and I want these two to be grouped together. So I'm going to click group now, and notice this is now one object, and it moves together, and it should resize together. So now I can really get this looking very, very neat. And there's my first box, and then I could do Control C, Control V, put another box in there. I'm going to deliberately leave these a little bit messy because don't have to get things very perfect with IT, because there's normally a tool. So what I've got here is they're not all quite fitting on the page, but they're not particularly well aligned. And what I'm going to do is multiple select them now. See, they're all over the place. Hold down the Control key, sorry, Shift key, multiple select, and then go up to Object and Align and Distribute. And it will open up a new area over here. And if you go to Distribute here, it will space them out evenly. Can you see? There we go. That's spaced them out evenly using that one. Experiment, find out the one that works the best. And I want them aligned in the center so they're all nice and neat. And then you click that button. So very, very quickly, it's now aligned those down the middle and spaced them out. Now all I've got to do is add some text. So click on the text tool and spend your time putting the text in here in a box. So don't forget to tell people, make the text the right size. Look at some of those tutorials for changing and editing text, and you can start building your poster that way. Another thing that I'd like to show you, let's say I want to keep all my private information secure. I've got the box I've put there, and I just want a nice padlock here to go with that. So how do we make padlocks? Well, make sure you zoom in first of all. So I'm going to go over here, I've got a square, and what I'm going to do is do a circle, and inside that create another circle. And there's a whole group of features here that will help you join and merge shapes together. So a padlock's basically made up of the hoop over the top and a square body underneath. So what I'm going to create here is the hoop over the top. So that's one circle. If I press the Control key now and select those two together, if I go to Path, and what you get here is difference, intersection, exclusion. Experiment with all of those. What I want here is the difference. So now that object has cut out the one in the middle. So when I drag this object over here, you can see it's gone see-through in the middle. And what I now want to do is put that down here, and this time I want this object to cut off the bottom there and then join this together. So what I'm going to do is move this object, the bigger square here. It does take a bit of time and you will get used to it, I promise. Let me just fiddle with that. Right, so I'm going to pick that one and I want that one to raise. So now you can see it's in front. I could just group that there. Yep, and that would be it. But what I want to do is actually join this shape together so I can colour the whole thing. So I'm going to pick these two, and then I'm going back to the path, and I want these to be union. So now, can you see what it's done? It's made my little padlock key. And because this is now joined as one shape, when I go to the colour boxes here, fill in the stroke, if I click on the fill colour, and padlocks are nearly always gold. Oh, that's a yellow, not quite. There we go. I've made that shape. Of course, now what I need is a circle here and a triangle underneath. Triangle is quite tricky to make. You drag this out, but up here, see it says corners? So I've dragged that tool there. Take the corners out. There's my shape. I can now rotate that shape So let's pull the circle from there down and make that a little bit thinner. If I click on this again, I'm still new to this bit of software, there we go. I can rotate my triangle, not quite the shape I'm looking for. I'm then going to use the edit features here. Yeah, that's still not giving me what I want, so delete it, don't worry. I'm going to redo that triangle. I think I've got to get it a bit neater to start with, so delete that shape. Go to the polygon tool here again, drag it out. I want the tool here. Still not giving me the shape I want, and I don't quite know why. So spoke ratio seems to have, there we go, let's get, that's more like a proper triangle now. So hopefully this time it'll be a little bit easier to control. I'm going to rotate it, so click on it once, click on it twice. There we go, I want it to be, there we are, that's a bit more like it. Put that under there, go back here, and this is the nature of IT. You have an idea in your head and it takes a little bit of a while. And now I'm going to use that union tool again. So path, union, and there we go, I've got my little keyhole. I'm going to make that fill color nice and solid and black and put that over my padlock. Now, there's lots of different ways you can build shapes. What I'd like to see is 2 or 3 shapes that you've made from scratch, like this. So there's my little padlock. I now highlight everything. I'm going to right click and group all of that together so it becomes one little object, and then there we go, and then I can put that as a nice little extra visual feature to make my poster look a little bit more dynamic. So there's basically the use of layers to build your background, your frames. Add another layer for your text, which I forgot to do earlier, don't forget to do that. You could add another little layer for your images. Click add, do your research, have a look around, get your work nice and structured, you'll get higher marks. Hope you enjoy exploring Inkscape. Make sure when you've finished your work, first of all you save the SVG so you can edit it later, so save. And then when you've finished, export it as a PNG image. And this brings up the export box. So we're going to export it as a PNG. Can you see there? It's changed the name. Export as, and that will save a nice image straight into your folder that you can then use. Hope that's got you going. Look forward to seeing your posters. Be creative and have some fun.